to counteract the manipulation of pride, and that is with humility. Now, don't get me wrong. Being humble and having humility are two different things. Being humble is of a slave mentality. And what I mean by this is when people always think that you have to do things for others, you really need to rethink this one. So the definition of humility is the quality of being free from pride and arrogance, characterized by a modest, accurate estimate of one's own importance, accomplishments, and limitations. So, with that being said, humility involves having low focus on the self, recognizing gaps in the knowledge, acknowledge mistakes, and treating others with respect. Be a teacher, show them, help them. Should they choose to accept your teachings, that's purely up to them. You cannot force anything on anyone, ever. Ever. Because when you take a person's choice away, you're taking away their free will. It's your choice to help them, how you'd say, give them the knowledge to make the choice. But if you're telling them and demanding them to do it your way, that's a form of manipulation. So you cannot ever, you can give a suggestion, but leave it at that. Let the person that needs to make the choice make the choice. When you demand things from other people, you're taking away their choice. So, being humble is doing things because someone is making you feel small or unworthy, or feeling that you are in a domineering relationship, either with family, friends, co-workers, etc. Humility is knowing that you can do something without acknowledgement and feel like I did my good deed without telling anyone about it. That means when you go and do a good deed, don't go and fucking post it online. Sorry, kids. I swear a lot. So if you go and you give $20 to a homeless person, don't go and talk about it, because that's pride. You keep it to yourself. And if it's wanting to come out of your mouth, that means you're being manipulated. So if you can resonate with this, it's like, say a fireman goes and puts out a fire. He doesn't go and talk about it, he just does his job. Or someone that goes and volunteers. They go and do the job, but they don't post it online. They don't need to talk about it because they know that they're doing something good inside, and they don't need to tell people about it because that's just between you and the Creator. And like during school time for children, you know, someone drops their book, you pick it up, and you say, here you go. And then you don't talk about it. You know, and people misconstrue a lot of things because of the media today. And they need to understand that you don't need to post anything online, ever. Because that's self-gratification, which is a form of manipulation. So, if someone is teaching you something, and this is from the other spectrum, the other side of someone's giving you information to help you, it is totally up to you whether you want to accept that information, but what I suggest is sit on it, think about it, and if they're demanding an answer right then and there, just say, hey, look, that's something I need to think about. It's that simple. Think about it, look at all options. Sometimes it's just a simple yes or no, or there's more puzzles in the piece, there's more pieces in the puzzle, I should say. And you got to put all the little dots in order and dot your I's and cross your T's and think, is this really for me? That's your decision. That's a choice. If you answer people right away, then you're basically giving your power away. You want to take what's yours and keep it. And never feel obligated to people or what happens if this doesn't get done. Like say you're at work or you're at school, you know you have to do your homework, so get it done. Because it's furthering your education, it's going to help you in the long run. Or if you're at home and you have assigned chores, get it done so there's no problems. But as far as like work and home life goes, you don't need to brag about it. Just get it done, get it over with. But if people start putting more on your plate than what you're responsible for in your job description or in your home life description, that's where manipulation comes in. Because if someone else is responsible for something and they don't do their job, it's not up to you to fix their situation. It truly isn't. And if you feel pressured at a job or at home because of what other people are not doing, either you're not in the right job and you need to find another one. And I understand that everybody needs to pay the bills, but this is again where you need to stand up for yourself and say, look, I've done my job, I did my responsibilities, my assigned tasks. I'm not responsible for anybody else. Unless it's in your job description. Or unless your supervisor or your school teacher says, hey, I'm requesting you do this. But 9 times out of 10 it's because someone else is complaining and they don't want to do their job. So this is where you need to confront the person that's not doing their shit. And, you know, like I said, is you need to understand it's how you feel inside. So let's put it like this. If you feel like you're being, and I don't think a lot of people learn how to explain energies correctly. This took me a while to learn. When inside you feel like you're being crushed, and you know that your soul's crying, or you know something inside, I should say, inside of you is crying out, I just really don't want to do this. That's your soul telling you that is wrong. It's that simple. And I see a lot of people online and they're just doing a lot of mediums, tarot readers and stuff, but they're talking about energies and stuff, but they're not describing the feeling. To me anyways. And they say the feeling, or they say, you know, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, but they're not telling you how you feel about it. And what I came to conclusion to is, I mean, there are some people that do, and I'm grateful for them. But when a lot of people are doing these readings, like the one that I read this morning, this person's over there saying that, you know, so-and-so's going to come back into your life. But I'm like, you know what? If they're not resonating with these people, like a return boyfriend or a return husband or something, you got to remember why you broke up in the first place. It was the feeling, the knowing. What did they make you feel? Did they make you feel great? Or did they make you feel like shit? And this goes for anybody and everybody. And this is the main point that I'm trying to get at through all of these lessons, is how are you feeling inside? So this is where this starts. So with virtue, when you're posting, you're bragging, or you're looking for acknowledgement, that's pride talking. Do the good deed, walk away. And don't ever bring it up again. Don't post it online. Don't tell anybody about it. Just like brush it out like it's a cloud floating by. That's all you gotta do. It's better for your spirit, believe me. And it will help you release little by little, you know, all of the bad feelings that you're having inside. And the main thing is when you have these bad feelings, you gotta forgive yourself, because nobody else can, period. Nobody else can forgive you for feeling bad. Nobody else can forgive you for being subjugated. Nobody else can, you know, how you would say, raise your thinking into thinking that you were a small person when you're not. You're a huge spirit. Truly, you are. But it's just you've been in this dense 3D plane for so long, you don't know anything better because, again, you've been recycled. So you want to break yourself out of that. That's what you want to do. So when you feel, and you can feel this in your energy, and this is the way that I learned it. And it's easy, simple instructions. People make it hard, and it's not hard at all. When you feel like you're being pressed in on, and you don't know where it's coming from, it's either one of two things. Your spirit inside is telling you, I don't want to do this. Or you're trying to be manipulated, either on the outside or on the inside, saying you got to do this when you truly don't have to. It's how you feel inside your heart. What is going on in your heart? Do you feel like you're light as a feather, or do you feel like you're carrying a bag of bricks on your back? Do you feel like you're being put into a corner or put into a box? You know you shouldn't be doing it, but you're going to do it anyways to make them feel better? That's my question to you. So you need to sit down, and a good example is you need to find your patterns. So I'll help you with that too. In the very, very last episode, it'll be episode 15, I'll help you with that one too. But these are the things that you need to look at. So this is where you give your power away, is when someone's trying to make you feel small. Someone's trying to tell you either you should be doing this for them, be doing that for them. You feel obligated to have sex with people. You feel obligated to do chores for people. You feel obligated to run errands for people. Like I said, there's many faceted levels upon this little plane that we're playing this game upon. And if people sit there and say, well, you don't know my life, that is true. I don't know your life. But like I said in the beginning of this episode, I've been doing this since I was 2 years old. I learned the hard fucking way. And it was a long road. A very long road. So I do see a lot of things every day out on the street, every day, that people don't see. They're not looking at. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that can notice some things, and they feel bad about it inside, like, oh, they shouldn't be doing that. Well, that's your spirit telling you that you should have stood up for that person and intervened. It's that simple. Or I feel bad because they don't have a cup of water. Or I feel bad because they don't have food. That's your spirit telling you that you should stand up and you should start helping out the person that needs help. So when you walk past these people and think, they deserve it, well, you're fucking wrong. It's that simple. That's your spirit telling you that you should do something, but then that's the other manipulation coming in and saying, no, they don't deserve it. So I just thought I'd enlighten people on that one. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. The person that you just walked past or you didn't help could have been an angel, and they're recording every fucking thing that you're doing. And you will live it over again. Like I said in the last video, either in this life or the next one. It's that simple. And I'm pretty sure the way shit's going is going to be in this one. Because the system is basically weeding out all of the people that are self-centered right now. From what I'm watching right now in my brain, it's starting to weed these people out. And you don't want to come back and live in a shithole, and you're going to be that homeless person that you're saying, oh, they deserve it. Seriously, think about it. So, let people be responsible for their own life, their own self-responsibilities and jobs. If not, then what's it worth it to you? Sacrificing your spirit, your soul, by being put down or walking away? You're not a slave. You don't owe anybody anything when it comes to self-worth. And the young ones need proper guidance And if you have young ones, that's up to you. So if you're one of these people that are always talking shit, that's how your child's going to grow up. But you know what? When you're talking shit, that's an entity attachment, or it's a manipulation coming from your mind. And you have to seriously think, is this what I want my child to learn? Because if you're teaching that to your children, if you're teaching your children, and the children are the most important part of this because they're going into the future. And like I said, what you teach your children, it's not going to help their spirit, it's not going to help their soul, and they're going to be recycled again and again and again. So if you want to break this pattern, you've got to stop it. And Yeshua, regarding this, he said, giving a helping hand, walk in silence, for this is between you and the eternal Creator. It's that simple. So teach your lessons. Keep thinking this like this much. If you're in a bad situation, do you want your child to go through it, or do you want to stop the generational pattern that you've lived? Because it's on a tier level. You know, you can change your life. So if you're out there on welfare, if you're out there and you need services, yes, I believe everybody has a choice to raise what you're doing. Go to school, get an education, make sure that your children do that. And I've seen a lot of people do that, but then I've also seen a lot of people not want to better their children's lives because this is a continual generational pattern. And I'm not just talking here in America, I'm talking all over the world. It's either due to lack, emotional issues, trauma issues. And yes, you should have consideration for people, but I'm talking to the person inside of you. Do you want to continue living this life? And a lot of people are caught in a loop and they don't know how to get out of it. And this is where helping people get out of it comes to conclusions. So this is why I say you have an option to help that person. So even if you're only giving them $1 or $10 or $20 and they're on the street and you see that person, you should help them, because you never know if that's going to be their last day as an angel or as a human being disguised as an angel, and you will be judged on that. You are judged on everything that you do in this life, and it will come back to you. That's your karma. So this is where trials and tribulations come in. This is what trials are. Something is put in front of you, and that's 10% of your of your choice. This is what I was just shown. That's 10% of your choice. That's your trial that you're going to go through. Your tribulations are 90% of how you are going to react. This is the causation that I spoke of. This is the cause and effect. So if you want to be that good person, you help that person. And that gives you what I call gold stars. But if I want that gold star now, it's not going to happen, because these are your trials and tribulations that you need to go through. You will not see it right now. It will happen in the future. But if you don't pass this trial, it's just going to start getting worse and worse and worse and worse for you. It's that simple. So all these people that are out there, doing drugs, drinking, do what you will. That's your choice. But I'm telling you right now, it's cause and effect. So you need to understand that everything, like I said, this just keeps coming back to everything that you do in this life is part of your trials. So if you're on drugs, or if you're drinking, or doing hard drugs, or on tons of medications, these are your choices. And believe me, I know exactly where I'm coming from. I'm not, how you say, preaching to the choir, because, this is my lived experience, okay? I've done drugs, I've drank, I've been on medications, and it all came to this. It's like, do I really want to continue on doing this? But then I got really sick. And really sick. I was bedridden for 8 months. Ended up, and it wasn't only because of my choices. It was because of other people's choices that they used against me. And this is why I say, you have to have grace for everybody and never let people take advantage of you, because that weighs your spirit down to almost extinguish it. So I posted something a couple days ago about suicide, and it's because these energies are attacking people so hard, and it's because they have a bright spirit inside of them. And these are the people that truly need help. So when people say, well, there's nothing we could do for them, there's always something that you can do for them. And if you know somebody like this, lead them to these videos, because this will help them get out of the situation that they're in. I'm here to share my light, if you will, with these people. It broke my heart the other day because someone that was like me didn't make it. I don't know this person, but they couldn't figure a way out. And maybe if they learn these lessons, so if you know someone that's really sad or really heartbroken, please direct them to these videos, because this will help them get out of the funk that they're in. I don't want people to hurt themselves. And I know what I'm talking about that too. So please direct them here. And so when people are feeling like with this virtue, so when you're feeling compressed and then you feel really tired afterwards, that's something draining your spiritual essence. And you need to learn how to say in your heart, you know what, I forgive myself for allowing that, but I'm taking my power back. Forgive yourself for faltering and direct it where it needs to go, but don't get angry. Do it with grace. Talk nicely and just tell them, this was never my responsibility and I don't want to carry your baggage anymore. Forgive yourself. Forgive them, because they don't know what they do. Because you don't know what trials someone else is going through. But just remember, you don't have to carry someone else's baggage, as I like to call it. You cannot change people. You never will. You can only suggest. It's always their choice. You can only change yourself, whether you want to keep on doing the shit you're doing. Keep on carrying the shit that you fucking feel you need to carry for someone else. Do you want to stay in the lesson? It's that simple. And so, it's relatively yin and yang. Again, it's black and white. But you gotta have a fine line in the middle. And the fine line that I'm talking about walking is know yourself. Know what you're willing to do. Are you willing to be walked upon? Are you willing to be trampled upon? And as far as the energy inside of you, what is your soul telling you? Feel your heart. If your heart's not shining within, then something's wrong and you need to figure it out. And this is one of the patterns that I think Yeshua and his disciples, and I think I was told something about John the Baptist the other day. I was directed to a video about John the Baptist, about these dimensions, and him not being able to speak his mind because of the times. Apparently he had his head chopped off. I didn't know that. That was news to me. And so it felt true. It felt so true about how he tried to get across about the different dimensions back to the one true creator. But I know they didn't have the word for energy then. So nobody described how energies can attack you from the inside as well as the outside. So that's your first lesson as far as the energy goes. There are multiple levels to this game, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. How do you truly feel inside? When you're doing something for someone else, do you feel obligated? Do you feel righteous? Do you feel justified? Do you feel belittled? Do you feel heavy? Do you feel light? These are things that people need to think about. And, you know, let's get back to the point that I had earlier. I was listening to somebody that was reading for people and telling them that they were going to go back to their old love. But you know what? If you left these people behind, it was for a reason. So if these people come to you and say, oh, I need your help with this, and oh, I love you, remember the reason why you left them in the backside in the first place. Because you knew something bad was going on. You knew something terrible in your heart, in your mind. And your ego takes over and says, oh, it's, you know, I can do this again. And I love them and I want to do this again. No, you don't. That's a form of manipulation. And I want people to remember this lesson specifically when it comes to loving somebody. And believe me, I know exactly what I'm talking about because I put up with shit for so long. But I didn't see what I should have seen because, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I have nothing but compassion in my heart for everyone upon this earth because I know they have their own trials. And I've known this all my life. But you have to know when it's time to walk the fuck away. And this includes children too. So if someone's treating your child bad, and your child is, and this is especially important, and maybe I should start off with this one too. If your child is telling you that they don't feel safe somewhere, and you're saying, oh no, it's okay, that's for a fucking reason. I remember I used to tell my parents all the time, or actually my mother, I told her about her husband when I was 3 years old. I said I didn't like him. And there's some shit that happened there. But I have a book. I wrote a book. I'm going to get it published later on. So I will also leave that at the end of the 15th video. So if you're interested in buying and finding out my true story behind all of this, then be enlightened. It's a hell of a fucking story, like I said. So when you feel, and you're watching tarot readers and they're telling you, oh, this love is coming back into your life and, you know, you guys are meant to be, don't fucking listen to them. You left that motherfucker for a reason. And this is for the adults and the teenagers. You left him for a reason. Don't ever look back. Sorry, get excited. Anyway, so that'll end today's video. I hope you find anything that I say enlightening. Bless your spirits and bless your souls, and may you find your path. Have a great day.